Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Olympic gold medalist Alexander Povetkin distances himself from Dillian Whyte only once AJ Anthony Joshua. Stay tuned. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Shout out to SkySports.com. Link in the description. They have an article. The title is Alexander Povetkin says he is only thinking about a fight against Anthony Joshua. And the little subheader says Alexander Povetkin appears to have distanced himself from a fight against Dillian Whyte after announcing he only wants to challenge Anthony Joshua. He says Anthony Joshua has 4 belts. I want this fight, and I don't even think about fighting someone else. I'm the mandatory challenger for Joshua. I look forward to the moment when I can compete against the best in the world. Anthony has 4 belts. I want this fight, and I don't think about fighting anyone else. Link in the description. Listen, the walls are closing in. Joshua, I think he should fight Wilder because that's the bigger fight. It's a unification. We all know in the world of boxing, and I'm not talking about Povetkin's promoter, the real world of boxing, that unifications trump mandatories. It's a thing. WBC said that. They said, hey, Wilder can fight who he wants. He can have like a voluntary defense, or he could do a unification. We won't stand in the way and order a mandatory or anything that would prevent him from not being able to realize his dream of trying to unify and become undisputed with Joshua. Now you have a mandatory with, I believe, 2 of the belts. I think the WBO and WBA side, Povetkin is the #1. I don't know if the WBO and WBA has made it official and said he's the mandatory, but he's under the impression because he's ranked #1 that he's the mandatory. Again, maybe they've gave him the carte blanche and said, hey, you are the mandatory, but he keeps saying he's the mandatory. But he is ranked #1 with those sanctioning bodies. So why not take the unification? It's a big fight. I mean, Povetkin's a dangerous fight. You've seen him get staggered by David Price, who's a big guy, big puncher, and he weathered that storm, and he came back to stop David Price in a nasty fashion. You know what I mean? And Eddie Hearn is playing with fire, putting his fighter in all these other additional fights. Joseph Parker, if he makes a mandatory fight with Povetkin, Gerald Miller, you know what I mean? Because if you look at it, Joshua's last couple of fights have went late. Klitschko, I think it was the 10th or 11th round stoppage. Carlos Takam was like a 10th or 11th round stoppage. And then Joseph Parker became the first to go the distance. So just like Golovkin, people probably are picking out little things in his last 3 fights where they think, okay, maybe I could do this. Because Joshua's not just walking through people and knocking them out early like he did, you know what I mean, maybe his first 12, 13 fights of his career. So I hope Eddie Hearn, he says he's been in touch with Showtime and also Team Wilder, and he's going to put together a deal. It needs to be next because you got people like Povetkin who's trying to push his mandatory status. Guys probably feel they can beat Joshua for whatever reason. And even if they aren't sure, which I think most of these guys are, like confident, they don't go into fights thinking they're going to lose. Either way, Povetkin's dangerous. He's an Olympic gold medalist, and he wants his opportunity that he's worked for to get the rankings. So it's new media is killing Ego's army. Everyone said, not everyone, but there were some distractors that said that Wilder was ducking Dillian Whyte because it was a career high payday. And Povetkin saying the same thing. He's saying, why should I fight Dillian Whyte? His trainer saying it makes no sense. There's no point to fight Dillian Whyte. What is he bringing to the table? I'm not even thinking about fighting anyone else. I want Joshua. I'm the mandatory. Why would I be looking at Dillian Whyte? Right? Which is the same thing basically that Wilder said. But Wilder, as a champion, he one-upped this situation. He says, I'll fight Dillian Whyte, Eddie Hearn. but put Joshua in the contract. And Eddie Hearn, he said, no, we can't do that. Why would I negotiate Joshua on a Dillian Whyte contract? So the walls are closing in with what Eddie Hearn has been saying. I'll see how this plays out and keep you guys updated. Povetkin versus Joshua, it's not a bad fight. Neither is Gerald Miller. But the fight we all want to see, and the fight that matters the most, is Joshua versus Wilder. All these other fights aren't going anywhere. Joshua or Dillian Whyte for Joshua, or Deontay Wilder. Alexander Povetkin. I mean, if he's a mandatory now, then Joshua Wilder, he'll probably still be the mandatory for them unless he loses. You know what I mean? The winner of that fight. So Joshua Wilder needs to happen. It just doesn't make sense. All these sub-dangerous fights, you're not going to make as much money, and you're going to go up against a 300-pound Gerald Miller, Olympic gold medalist in Povetkin. I don't see why you would skip out on that and chance ruining Joshua Wilder. But Povetkin's saying the same thing as Wilder. Why should we fight Dillian Whyte? We want AJ. And he's the guy with the most belts. He's the guy that's going to give him the best paycheck over when you're talking about Dillian Whyte and AJ. So rightfully so. Let me know your thoughts on Povetkin. He says he's not checking for Dillian Whyte. He wants straight at AJ. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing. Fight fans, make sure you copy your tickets to this year's Box Fan Expo. It's going down May 5th, 2018, only in Las Vegas. I'm going to be there. We got a ton of great boxers going to be there. You don't want to miss this. There is a link in the description so you can purchase your tickets right now. Hopefully I see you guys there. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.